You give, you can't be replaced. So no one else can do what you do. That's why I spend my life with you. I wanna please you in any way I can. I wanna share my world. Don't you understand? Your love is no one.
Hey guys, welcome to the Turkish Delight Show with your girl Turkish Delight Sev. So this episode is a ladies only edition. It's only right. So we're going to be discussing up to 10 things that are essential in a relationship, as well as some tips for the guys out there, what we like and what we don't like. On this show I have Leighanna, Monique, Fatima and P. So ladies, I'm going to start off with two essential things that I think are really important in a relationship, which would be firstly respect. Respect is the biggest. Most people would probably say, oh, it's trust, but for me, respect is everything. If you don't respect each other, then I feel like there's not, for me anyway, there's not much to the relationship. And respect for me looks like I don't expect someone to be swearing after me. I don't expect someone to be kind of belittling me. And kind of just anything that, and also kind of like respecting my boundaries as well, my values. So anything that I do value or I've set a boundary, if it's kind of overstepping that mark and disrespecting it, then for me, I feel like that's a massive no for me personally. So respect is my first one, and loyalty is my second one. And for me, I'll say that is because loyalty for me anyway looks like it's what's being said or how you talk about me when I'm not around. It's how you represent me when I'm not around. A lot of people think it's, oh, I'm representing myself, but no, you're not. If I'm in a relationship with you and I'm not around, you're representing me as well as I'm representing you when I'm out there. So that's what loyalty looks like for me anyway. So those are like my two must. So Leighanna, what about you?
I'd definitely say communication. I've learnt the hard way over the years. I have 15 years with my other half. Communication is just key. It's a cliche, but it really is. Once you get on the same page in terms of communication styles, I think the only way is up, in my opinion. And I'd also say independence, which can be counterintuitive in a relationship, but I don't subscribe to this whole thing of possession and entitlement. I don't own anyone. So we need to have independent lives and then come back together and be great together. They're my two.
My two is honesty and forgiveness. Honesty because I'm not going to say I'm a transparent person because I will have barriers, but I try my best to be a transparent person. But in terms of honesty, I don't see why you should be dishonest with adults. You know, you should be able to do what you're doing with chest. If you have an issue, voice the issue. And forgiveness. We're not perfect. We're going to make mistakes. And the fact that, you know, someone's willing to forgive you and move forward, I feel like that's growth, that's mature. And it can be a problem in a relationship if you feel like you haven't forgiven the person that you're with, because then you're not moving forward. You're just going to be stagnant in this relationship and just create a toxic environment, and it's not healthy for yourself or for the person that you're in a relationship with. So I feel like honesty and forgiveness is my two top essential things in a relationship.
Yeah.
I'd say communication is my it has to be up there. Just communication, because I feel like sometimes our upbringing or our past traumas doesn't allow us to open up or be in a sense where we're like communicating how we feel, or if we feel that the situation's being a bit too much for us or is a bit too much for us. I feel like being able to communicate in a healthy way, not in a passive aggressive way, and understanding. I feel like understanding someone is very important. Understanding their background, where they came from, understanding their childhood, because I feel like I learnt that in my relationship, my past relationship. Like, understanding someone's childhood makes you more aware of how they are, and there's certain behaviours they have. For example, if they're avoidant, so what Leighanna said, touched upon the attachment style. So if a person's avoidant, usually they had a parent who kind of neglected them. So just understanding like how, if they had two parents in their household, and how was the dynamic of their childhood. And I think, and it allows you to understand, rather than attack the person, it allows you to understand like, oh, okay, maybe they didn't get much love in their childhood, that's why they can't commit. Or maybe they didn't get the love from both of their parents, like, and now they kind of maneuver in a way that's quite distant from if they were to get love from the opposite gender. Like, they're not used to it, so they run away and they hide. So I think understanding someone is important, and I feel like you need to, in a relationship or marriage or whatever, I feel like you need to understand each other's past or childhood to really have healthy communication. So yeah, those are my two.
I would say my two would be admiration. You need to admire your partner. And when you admire them, it's like you're in a state of always in love with them. You understand them. You look for the best in them. So I'd say admiration. And self-control, I would say being able to control yourself, understand the other person, and not really have your ways. Yeah, I would say self-control. I would say self-control. Yeah, those are my two.
I love it, ladies. Like, it's amazing because we've all come together and we've all come up with 10 things that are like important in a relationship, and they're all individually different as well, which is so amazing. And I think it's important as well for guys to even understand what women kind of what we want in relationships. Even though there is so much stuff out there, I'm not going to lie, for men, I don't feel like there's enough for women. There's more for men. But still, I think it's important because all those things equally kind of bring a relationship together. I'm going to also touch on like a few tips for guys, because I feel like this, and I want you guys obviously to get involved after as well, but I feel like this is also really important because there's so many little things that are like missed that can really like nurture a relationship to be, to withstand the distance really. So for me, the biggest one is effort. Like, effort is everything for me. And when I say that, I mean, and I know it's kind of cliche, everyone says, oh, effort. But no, really, the same effort you put in the beginning is the same effort that you maintain through that whole relationship. I'm not saying that every week it's going to be like that, because it's life. Mm-hmm. Things come in between us. We have busy schedules. But it's being mindful, like, hold on. Okay, we haven't done this, or I haven't done this, or I haven't bought my girl flowers for 2 months, or I know she likes the small little things. Let me come home, and vice versa, vice versa. But this is ladies. Sorry, this is ladies. Yeah, the man them have their own one. But I feel like it's just so important to maintain that, guys. Keep that effort up, because the thing is, with women, when you put effort in, we will double it. Whatever you give us, we will double. You come home, you bring us something small that we like, we're gonna double that, or we're gonna cook you up a nice meal, the nice meal that we know that you like. I'm just using an example. Do you get it? And it's like, don't get me wrong though, there are people out there that can be quite ungrateful. Let's not forget that. Disclaimer. Let's not forget that. But still, the reality is maintaining the effort. Please, guys, keep the effort. And that's my biggest tip, really, for the man them, And that's what I want to add, really. What about you guys?
Do you think it's realistic to be able to maintain that effort through a long relationship? I'm talking like 15, 20 years down the line? Just playing devil's advocate.
No,
do you think
I love
it's
it.
realistic?
I love it. And you know what? This is a thing. This is kind of the conversation that happens at times where it's like, yeah, but is that... Of course it's realistic. It's as realistic as you... it's as realistic as you want it to be. You see with me, the type of energy that I bring in the beginning, I maintain. I've been in an 11-year relationship. I maintained the same energy I had from the first year to the 11th year of that relationship. I never switched up in that way. I might have switched up and grown, but I never switched up. I always maintained the effort side. So that's why no one could ever turn around and walk away and say, oh, Sev was dry, you know. She stopped doing this and she stopped doing that. No, I maintained it because I think it's all about being mindful, and we can do anything we put our minds to. Why are we going to just stick to the whole notion of, okay, oh, is it realistic? It's not, just leave it. Yeah, okay, but your relationship, as much effort as you put into your relationship, that's what you're going to get back. So if you're not putting effort into your relationship, just expect that you've got a dry relationship. And I'm sorry, but I can't settle for a dry relationship. I know there's dry periods, and I'm realistic about that. That I'm realistic about. I know that not every time it's excitement. Sometimes it's going to be a bit boring, or it's going to be a bit stagnant even. But I still believe that with mindfulness, you can keep that fire burning for 30 years if that's what you want to do.
Preach, girl. No, it's true. And I did see something that said a relationship shouldn't be 50-50, it should be 100-100. So that kind of replicates what you just said.
I know. But then again, are you 100% with yourself all the time? Like, you within yourself, like, you're not 100% every single day. So like,
that's true.
Tomorrow I might wake up, I might be 50%, and that 50% might just be for me because I'm not able to give. Do you get it? So I feel like, in terms of like unrealistic, I feel like it is because you, even yourself, you can't give yourself 100% every single day. So being able to cater to someone else, it will be difficult, especially if you go through, like, you have family problems, like people have family problems, financial problems, like we have different things going on in our lives separately from our partner, and they might understand, but they might not feel our pain. So I feel like it's unrealistic to have the expectation that if I'm giving you 100% all the time, you should give me 100% all the time. I feel like in general, like, you're supposed to give, it's a give and take, right? But
Yeah,
I feel like
I agree.
when you're not 100% with yourself, it's very hard to give. So I feel like if your partner isn't able to give, that's your opportunity to pick up kind of the pieces, and vice versa. If you don't feel 100%, he should pick up the pieces. So I feel like it's different energy. So yeah, I think it's different.
When you said effort, I thought to myself, effort to you might mean something else
That's very
to
true.
someone. So
That's very true.
I would say more about evolving together, because you're in a relationship. Today you're someone, tomorrow you're someone else. And for me, to someone's, let's say, making an effort might mean take me out for dinner. But that's not, in this time of my life, that's not what I want. It might just be you being there and understanding, listening to me. So I think maybe a quality is to pick up when the other person's changed, when the needs have changed, and communicate on that level, because you might, I don't know, want to take me out and I don't want to feel like going out, but that's you making an effort. So I think it's important to really read the moment. Okay, who I was 10 years ago is not who I am now. What made me happy then is not going to make me happy now. So you need to be able to read when the person has transitioned, when the other person's needs have changed, and be okay with that.
But isn't that effort though? I feel like that still comes into effort, and the reason why I'm saying that is because it's understanding that that person, as you said, has transitioned, and it's maybe making effort at where that person is at that moment in time. I think it's very easy for people to turn around and say, okay, well, I'm going through something. All right, cool. We all go through things. We have periods that we can't give. because we've got to give to ourselves. So I'm not being unrealistic in that way, but that doesn't mean then that the next 4 months, let's just say, hypothetically, the next 4 months, you then put your partner's needs completely out of the window and put it down to, okay, but I've got my own stuff going on. What about the other person that you're with in the relationship?
Well, this is why I feel like emotional support is very important, because like you were saying about evolving, you were saying about, you know, effort and communication. I forgot what you said. You said something about, is it not commitment, what did you say? Independence, yeah. Exactly, yeah. So I feel like everyone's tip, if you think about it, as an individual, like you said, we all go through something. So we would want that space to get out of whatever headspace it is. And you'd want that emotional support from your partner, whether that is the space, etc. I feel like emotional support on both ends. So my tip for men, if you can, do some sort of homework, whether that means research on what it's like to be in terms of, like, how can you emotionally support your partner? You know, how would you like to get or receive emotional support? That's why I feel like therapy is very important as well, because there's certain things you don't want to speak to your partner about. Let's say, for example, a man might not feel not comfortable, but probably is going through something, but is not ready to speak to their partner about it. Even though your partner may be an emotional supporter, but I feel like when you speak to a therapist, you get to say what you need to say, and then when you do approach your partner, you'll be able to highlight what it is you need to say, so that you've cleared out the things that probably was emotional for you. Now you're dealing with it, then you can present whatever you're going through, and you know the partner is there to emotionally support you. And not just the men, but you know, both ways. Just emotionally support your partner by just doing that homework.
And it's, to be fair, I think most men don't actually know their women. They think they know them, but they actually don't know. So you have to ask questions. You know, you think, oh, I definitely know my wife likes this, or you actually don't know. You have to ask questions. And I would say, you know, ask questions. You know, don't think you know it all, because this person's probably changed now, is a completely different person. You think, oh, my wife definitely likes roses. I actually don't, you know. I used to. So I would say, don't think you know it all. You know, be okay to not knowing and asking questions, I would say.
And I'd say, again, what Monique said about therapy, I feel like going to therapy is so important because it allows you to understand yourself and how you operate and how you show love and how you receive love, and or if you can receive love, because I feel like there are some men out there who, when they receive love, they're not used to it, so it's it's intense for them, so they feel like, oh, this is too much, because they've never grew up with the love, or they've never grew up with two parent household where they're showing them love and showing them attention and physical touch. Like even physical touch, like it starts when you're a baby, like it starts when you're a child. So when you nurture your child, they'll be able to receive love. But because many people haven't received love in their childhood, it's very difficult for them to actually get it in terms of the opposite person. But I feel like, then again, I feel like men struggle with speaking, and I feel like that's a big issue. And I feel like some use it for gym, so gym could be their outlet. So if they have an argument or like things going on in their relationship, they use gym as an outlet.
Or cheating.
Yeah. But I think it's so important to speak, and if you can't, I think find ways to communicate. But it's subjective, isn't it? Because it depends on where the person's at. Some people have never been to therapy. Some people don't even know their traumas. Some people haven't even unpacked that side of them. So I feel like get to know yourself first. I feel like instead of thinking about the other person, get to know yourself, like who you are, what's your love language, what is your childhood traumas, and then figuring out how then once you know yourself, then you can cater to someone else. So I'd say get to know yourself first, because you'll suffer if you don't know. Relationship brings out your traumas, so.
So what would you say is your What is like the one thing that you really appreciate about a guy?
As a trait.
That maybe your partner, or that you've had in, if you're single, that you've had in the past. What's one thing that you would say that you appreciate about a guy?
Mine is advice. So my partner, he's a high value man. So any type of advice he gives me, I might act stubborn at the time and I'll be like, yeah, I know. But I am actually taking it all in, and then I'll have my moment where I'll be like, you know what? He's made a valid point. I see what he means. I understand. I'm comprehending. I'm experiencing. Okay, now I need to actually do it. You know. So I feel like the most important thing that he's given me is his advice. He's been there. He's done it. He's doing it. You know. He would always say to me like, you know, what's your next move? What are you gonna do? What's your plan? You know. And I need that. I don't have that. The way he is with me, I don't have that. Someone on that level to constantly push me to the next level. I know some people may have their parents, their sibling or whatever, but to have a partner that's always pushing you, not like so bad, like to the point where you feel like, oh, this is too much pressure. Like the way he does it is so subtle. It comes as like he's asking me questions, or he'll give me advice when he's asked me a question about like, what are you gonna do in the next 5 years? What's your plan? So what experience do you need to get to the next level, or whatever it is. The conversations that we have, our pillow talk is the best. Like, no, seriously, because it's just so motivating, and because I know he's done it, he's doing it, he's living that. Like he's like a personal mentor, you know. So yeah, I feel like when you've got a good man like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Leighanna?
I'd say, apart from being well endowed, it would have to be honesty. I can't lie. I'm with that cliche of like, hurt me with the truth, don't comfort me with a lie. I'm just very real like that. I'm like it in all my relationships. I don't care what you tell me as long as it's the truth. And I feel like a lot of men, you know, they string women along sometimes. They're not necessarily ready for a relationship. Women do it too. I'm not slandering the men, but they kind of string a girl along. They're not sure. They're like, she might be the one. There might be something better out there. So I'm going to waste this girl's time. And I would much rather you say to me, look, I'm not sure if it's you. I might want to see Monique next week. Just be real. And then I can deal with whatever you throw at me. Yeah. It's the not knowing that leads to all the...
Yeah, I know what you mean. The openness. Openness, advice for you. And for me, I would probably say... my partner has held me accountable. Yeah, he has. And I've got to big him up for it, because as much as, you know, I'm not going to lie, at times I don't like it at all. I don't, because I'm a strong character. But he holds me accountable, and he's made me look at certain patterns that I have and certain cycles that I have, and kind of almost... just helps me to break those cycles by just being himself, really. And I think that's the biggest thing, because he is himself and he stands true to himself, and he's a strong man. That for me anyway is something I really appreciate. Fatima?
I'd say, obviously I'm single now, but previous relationship, I'd say the person was always there for me, and just understanding as well. So if I was going through something, it was like, oh, like, let me come through, let me come to your house, let's speak, let's go for a drive, let me take you out. So I feel like that side of him allowed me to just express what I'm going through, and I feel like with that, because, you know, in life we all go through a lot of stuff, I felt almost like if I say things, I felt judged if it was someone else, but with him it was like it was so natural that like I didn't have to second guess what I'm saying. It just flowed. So I feel like I really appreciate that, just the openness and allowing me, creating a safe space really for me to just be honest and open, and it be like a non-judgmental zone, and vice versa. Like, yeah, so I'd say that creating a safe space.
I would say for me, I have to give it to my husband. He's He loves me for who I am. And he loved me at every stage of my life, you know, through the changes. And he loved me in a gentle way. He has never pushed me to change. He always allowed me to get there through my own eyes. Because you will get there. You will notice your mistakes. And he's never shown it to me. He's never pointed anything out that I've done that is wrong. He always just took his time. And he's been patient. You know, it's patience. And I would say he loved me for who I am. He loves me for who I am. So yeah, I would say that's a good trait.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've ended the show on a nice note. That's the whole point, because it's not it's not an episode to bash men or anything. It's about you know, just kind of sharing information, really, the thoughts that go on in our heads. Because as I said, even though there's a lot of information out there, I still think it's good for you guys to just really have an understanding of, because as well, actually, if you notice, even though we've got similar things in common, we're all different. So it's also about understanding your woman, who you're with, and what she likes and what she's about. So yeah, thanks guys for watching, and thank you guys for joining me on the Turkish Delight Show.
Done.